to the Royal Albert Hall. Now, for one of the only times in the Proms' 111-year history, last night's concert had to be cancelled, in this instance due to a small fire. It was to have featured the mighty Philadelphia Orchestra and their music director Christoph Eschenbach. All I can say is thank goodness they were scheduled to make 2 appearances this year, and they're with us tonight for 2 towering masterpieces of the orchestral canon.
This man here, this is Charles Hazelwood. He is someone who, as far as I'm concerned, is inextricably linked with the Proms. He is the Proms for me. He's just as important to me as the Proms brochure is. He is part of Proms history, even though chances are he probably doesn't want to be. The thing about Charles Hazelwood is that he's a composer and a conductor and, it seems, a TV presenter. He first came to my attention 2002, 2003. It was then that I was sat at my PC at work, still at work, at 8 o'clock in the evening. I was waxing lyrical to my friend in America. I was saying to him that, you know, it was a fantastic night. It was the first night of the BBC Proms, and I was terribly, terribly excited. And not surprisingly, my friend in America, he's a real person, by the way. He's called Clyde. Clyde was just sort of like, I don't understand this. I don't understand why you're getting so excited about a concert. I said, well, the thing is, it's available on the internet. You can watch it on the internet. That was one of the few years when you were able to watch it live on the internet from anywhere in the world, it seemed. I don't think that kind of thing happens anymore. But you can listen to it live on the radio, and you could listen to it live on the internet. Charles Hazelwood, he was presenting that concert, and I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to presenters. Call me old-fashioned, I'm only 34 years old, but I grew up with Richard Baker presenting the Proms. That's how I got into the Proms. And he always used to wear a dicky bow. He always used to be extremely smartly dressed. He went to a great deal of effort. Sometimes he'd turn up at the Royal Albert Hall with a carnation in his lapel, and I just thought that that was a good show. I thought he went to a great deal of effort, and well done him. At the first night of the Proms in 2002, Charles Hazelwood, lovely Charles Hazelwood, he's presenting the Proms, and the sight that greeted me when his Head and Shoulders appeared on the screen was quite disturbing. Sadly, there is no footage available of that particular event, but believe me, he was wearing quite a loud shirt, and I didn't really take to that very well. The Proms is a terribly important season for me. It's like my season. I don't get excited by football. I loathe football. But when the Proms starts, that's when I get really excited. So obviously, given that it's, you know, quite a big event, quite a smart event, everybody gets very excited about it, it's important that everybody is well turned out. Everybody makes an effort, everybody rises to the occasion. On this particular night, I didn't really feel that Charles Hazelwood had made any effort whatsoever. Not only that, he was inviting people to send in emails. He was inviting people to interact with the Proms programme.
Send in your thoughts, your comments, your questions by email at proms@bbc.co.uk or by text 83111. I do urge you to do that as soon as possible.
I can't stand interacting with any kind of television programme. There's a simple reason for it. I watch a television programme because I want to watch a television programme. I don't want to interact. I don't want to provide you with material to read out on air. I don't want to do those things because I want to sit and listen to the music. I don't want to tear myself away from this lovely 32-inch screen that I have in my living room in order to send an email so that you can read it out. I just don't want to do that. As you can probably imagine, it's not like it hasn't happened before. I felt suitably inspired to send an email. Really should have thought better about it. Should have just taken a few steps back, frankly, because I was quite worked up. I did suggest that maybe it would be a good idea if in future Charles Hazelwood would just take a little bit more time picking out his shirt. Something reasonably calm. I didn't want to see Hawaiian prints. And certainly didn't want to see his hairy chest, and if he could go so far as to take a little bit of time and have a shave, before he turned up at the Royal Albert Hall, I would be grateful. As a licence fee payer, I felt that this was perfectly justifiable. I rang my mother, I talked to my mother about it, she was completely in agreement, so I sent the email. I then went home. I don't know why I didn't carry on watching it. What kind of a Proms fan am I? I should be remaining there until the end of the concert, but I had to go home, and I went home. By the time I got home, lovely Clyde, lovely Clyde, blogged onto the internet. He popped up on Yahoo Messenger. He does have a tendency to do that. He'll just pop up and go, hello. He popped up and said hello, and explained that whilst I'd been travelling home, he'd had his attention drawn to his PC monitor because he'd heard through his headphones an email read out, sent in by someone whose name he recognised, somebody called John from South East London. It sounded familiar to Clyde. Not only had Charles Hazelwood read out all of the email, but he'd also read out my name and my location as well, hence why Clyde was able to confirm that it really was my email that was read out live on air. And horror of horrors, I had missed the opportunity. Sadly, this isn't a recording of that particular concert. This is a recording that was taken of a prom concert that Charles Hazelwood presented last year. And here you should take notice. Look, he's wearing a sober-coloured shirt. A sober-coloured shirt. Not only that, he's also clean-shaven. Look at the way his sideburns are neatly clipped at the side. That's very good. Not sure that I necessarily want to see the hairy chest, but I'm prepared to go with the open collar look, given that it is a sober shirt and he has had a shave. I just think it's important, as a Proms fan, I just think it's important that certain standards are met.